see it
It's
anymore.
gonna come back. And
Huh?
You're gonna complain about it.
Don't worry about it. Are we on, Mike?
Yeah.
What's up, guys? This is not a bit. For some reason, we had a big fly in. I was trying to chase it. Enrique thought he would entice it with lights in a different part of the school,
It
not
worked.
the gym.
Where is it?
I chased it away with my gi top. Anyways, guys, let's get started. Episode 84. All right, guys, what we're gonna do is I got a couple of topics today. What we're gonna try to do is I like collar drag. It's a very simple takedown. Works really well. It's relatively low risk unless you really screw it up. All right, and also it works really well when you got two guys. Nobody wants to kind of tie up. So if you got two guys, you know, especially in a competition where the guys go like this, you know, their sleeves are tucked in, so it's hard to get a sleeve grip. You know, they make sure that their jacket is all straight, and everybody's looking forward, so you don't have a good grip. So what we're going to do is normally in a takedown, in judo style takedown, there's not necessarily 100% rules. I usually try to go straight across, all right, and get a collar grip. Collar grip for two reasons. One is I'm grabbing his collar, and it's also by his collarbone. So remember that. There's two reasons why I call it collar grip. But sometimes it's not easy. The guys is you know, grip fighting and so forth. You can't. And a lot of times the guys start to go like really low. Notice what happens to Enrique's jacket. When somebody bends down at the waist, the jacket opens up. So I'm not looking for a perfect grip when this happens. All right, once I see that, I grab, instead of straight across, I get an X diagonally across. I just get a grip. It doesn't have to be by the collar, anywhere. I'm going to step to the side and pull, okay? Once he goes down, guys, sometimes you do it with such force, he goes down, all the way down, and most jiu-jitsu guys at this point will turn to go into guard. But if he doesn't, it doesn't matter. Regardless what happens, whether he goes down and pulls guard at this point, or he stays on his knees, I'm going to scissor my legs and start driving forward. You have to do that all the time. All right, so let's look at it from this angle. Guys, the most important thing is look where you want him to go. Don't look where he was. Because if you look at where, so if I get the grip, so we're fighting, I get the grip and I'm looking at him, this is what you're going to kind of pull him on top of you. All right? So as soon as I get the grip, I'm basically looking to where I want him to go. I get the grip, step, and pull. Don't even look at him. You know exactly where he is. You got the grip. Okay? Once I'm here, get my right leg back and start driving. All right? If he pulls guard, great. If he doesn't, that's...
I'm not doing anything.
Can Enrique get this 5-finger guillotine?
No.
Yes. I'm in charge. Again.
I think you've been in charge all the time.
It takes a lot of effort to be in charge, guys. So, again, if you're having a hard time, so let's, guys, one of the most frustrating things I see in tournaments is people dancing for too long. You know, grip fighting, and then sometimes you'll see, you know, blue belts or purple belts, even, you know, what I consider relatively seasoned people, kind of wind up getting this, and then both start dancing, pulling down, pull. Like, move. Get your grips and move, guys. Get your grips and move. So, if you see that happening, or even if you have, you know, sort of like an inkling, we're getting stalled out. You kind of know when you're getting stalled out. Basically, when you're getting stalled out, it's, you know, the guys just, you know, everybody's waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. Get your grips and go. So as soon as I bend, get my grip across. I don't care if he gets this. I step to the side. Don't look at him. Pull past you. Scissor your legs. And start driving.
Don't do it.
That's okay. Now if I got this grip, guys, I'm attacking straight from here. I got this arm, and I got the arm closer to me. Okay? Do we have any questions on this so far?
We have a lot of check-ins today.
Nice.
We have check-ins
We
from.
always have a lot of check-ins.
Oh, that's true. Very true. We have Canada, Mississauga. We have
Mississauga.
Mississauga.
Where's that? I believe it's Canada, Ontario.
Help me, guys.
Tell me
Help
if I'm right.
There's another town in New Jersey.
Next door to Butler.
And we have Turkey, California, Japan, different parts of Canada, South Africa,
Nice.
France,
Nice.
and let's see. A question that we have is, this only works in the gi, right? And that's from Elatsapir.
Correct. Yeah, this is a gi one.
John P is asking, Professor, what would be the no gi equivalent?
There isn't one. Usually with no gi, I fight to get an underhook. So usually with no gi, I fight to get an underhook. When I get this underhook, I will pull into a rigatami. All right. As you know, my game is not symmetrical. If I get the underhook on the right side, I just hook. I'm staying up. Let me make my pose. So, yes. So it's gonna be different. Gi-no-gi is gonna be different.
Kill.
In takedowns, guys, in general, just general speaking, but I will use a wrestling style takedown in the gi as well. But in the no-gi, I will tend to use more wrestling type takedowns, attacking more of the legs. With the gi, I'm going to try to pay a little more attention to the upper body, more judo style takedowns, but everything gets hybridized to some extent. For jiu-jitsu, for submission grappling, and for MMA, even more so.
And Caleb Throop is asking, could it be the arm drag?
You can, yeah. But with the arm drag, I wouldn't do this takedown. With the arm drag, if I dragged him well, I did it to him before. If I get a good arm drag, I'm going for his back, even while we're standing, and then I'll take it from there. Okay. So right off the takedown, I'm going to drive, and I'm going to pass guard. It depends where you're defending last. Right now, I would go towards my left. Now, if his arms are isolated, guys, which right now his right arm is isolated, I would take it immediately. I would just slide up and take it. Tap. All right? But if he winds up with his arms not isolated, I'm using my head, guys. So if his arm is not isolated, I will, right here, guys, the logical progression for me is to mount, okay? Variety of reasons. If I'm in the gi, chances are it's not an MMA fight. If I'm in the gi, probably it's not self-defense right now. So I don't really worry about getting hit if I screw this up. And I would mount. And I'm looking to isolate his arms. Guys, when I'm on his hips, a lot of people like to be on somebody's hips when they mount. Me personally, I like to be a little bit higher up. So off his hips. Because when you're on somebody's hips, yeah, you control them to some extent, but the guy's got a good arch, you know? Almost anybody can hoist you up in the air, you know? So I try to take the hips out of the equation. There's a variety of other reasons. If I'm by the hips, I'm going to try to go immediately for collar choke if I have the gi. All right? So if I decide to go for collar choke, you can see his gi is very loose. Guys, anytime you're using collar choke, you always want to kind of use the other hand to make sure that you get that first grip really well. So what I would do is pull as he's popping up. I'm going to get deep. All right? Now, what I mean by deep, if it's not deep enough, guys, don't start choking before it gets deep. Yank him again, and now I have it deep. My forearm goes across his chest, so I try to rest a lot of my weight on his chest. Now, he's not going to try to give me the other side. That's okay. You can scrape it. Guys, look for correct placement rather than try to kind of rip the guy's head off or clip it off with his gi. When you try to do this, that implies a lot of arm strength. It's possible. It will happen. Sometimes you need to do that just to kind of get that little bit extra oomph on the choke. But you want to be like this. Deep, forearm on his chest. So a lot of my weight is in there. There's 3 grips on a cross collar choke, okay? First one goes in, 4 fingers in. The second one, you can go under, same way, okay? You can go over the top, thumb in rather, and bring it down. And the third one, this is my preferred. I usually, when I have a cross collar grip, usually try to create like a nice grip on the gi, just outside the collar. And that's where I usually prefer to go. So that's the third version. I just grab and then compress. All right, so anytime when I'm top of cross side, especially with the gi, guys, very important, get the first hand right. If you don't get the first hand right, the first grip, there is no point in going for the choke. You have to get the first hand correct. You have to get it deep enough, and it has to be good. If your wrist starts to break down like this, you went too far. So wrap your wrists, or release a little bit of the collar. So pull. If you don't feel like you're gonna get it far enough, like say his gi's clumped up, so then I would go for the other side, or you could just pull him a little bit and get it deep. Now I'm gonna put pressure on. You could see how the pocket, guys, if you have a good grip, if you have 4 fingers in and get a good grip, it creates this handle on the other side. That handle will not be created if you do not get a good grip. So fix your jacket. So look, this is a very strong grip, guys. Look, my hand turned white. This is a great grip, but you see no handle. But if I pull him up, you could see the handle immediately forming right here. So I'm gonna go 4 fingers. Guys, if you want more on this stuff, look up Renzo Gracie's tutorials on this stuff. He's the king of cross collar chokes. If you don't know,
now you know.
well, no, that's if you didn't know that, now you know. But if you look back, I forget what world championship that was. I want to say 2008, 2010 time frame. Guys, he literally finished everybody in his own weight class in an absolute division with a cross collar choke. Think about that, guys. Think about that feat. To finish, these are not schlubs. These are not blue belts, or not that blue belts are schlubs, but These are not like, there's black belts and there's black belts. These are elite black belts. They knew what he would, by the time he finished the third one, I'm pretty sure that everybody knew what he was doing. Yet they couldn't stop him. Just think about that. In his weight class and in absolute division, every single guy got finished with a cross collar choke. That's a very basic, very fundamental technique. So, guys, if you want to be a master at it, or at least try to become one, you know, look at Gracie's technique, look at his matches. You know, one of the greatest of all times.
Anthony Tosca is saying, good morning, gentlemen. Any tips for when the person on bottom swims their head up?
Swim, Enrique.
It's fluid.
Yeah, we're swimming all the time. Can you swim?
Where?
Can you swim? Anthony, I hope that answers your question. Swim, Enrique, swim. Guys, the best thing about,
You can see for the viewers.
all right, the best thing about setting up a good cross collar choke from the top is that if the guy turns you, once your initial hand is in, watch how quickly Enrique taps. No pain, no gain. Isn't that a saying? Or wait, no, you're supposed to use pain as a guide. Now, guys, seriously, this is, Mike is cracking up behind the camera. He's cracking up. Guys, when you train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's not easy, and sometimes there's pain. Use pain as a guide. If it's painful, back off. Because if it's something is painful, you're making that, whatever it is, worse, okay? So pain is a good guide. Yeah, you just got to scratch on your elbow. I still tried to figure out whether Mike elbowed Enrique in the teeth or Enrique bit him.
He elbowed me.
He hit me with his face.
So look, he's like, he cannot swim. Just not. He's not going to swim. So now, as I'm trying to finish him, before I have a chance to get my second hand, so let's look at it. So guys, when you set out the proper cross collar choke from the top, if the guy reverses you, it literally kicks in turbocharged. You could see how long I took my time to get the second grip because I didn't want to grab his skin. But once that grip comes in, it's brutal. All right, so a well executed setup. Again, it starts with that first initial grip. All right. So let's look at it one more time. Guys, it's a spider. The last time I actually blew the spider towards Mike, and next thing I know, Mike left the camera alone and was running around in the background trying to avoid the spider.
He
So
blended
this
in
time I
with the
took it
carpet.
way
I
to the
couldn't
side,
find
huh?
him. He blended in with the carpet. I couldn't find him.
Well, he's over there. So let's look at it one more time. So I mount. I keep my hips heavy, guys. You know, how do I do that? You know, so I will swim. My grip is not good enough. I'm going to yank him and apply. Put my weight, guys. So my legs are spread apart, right? But my weight is in the forearm. And as I do this, I don't care. Come on. Double tap, guys. Guys, I know it looks a little like a joke, right? Which it is, partially. But you could see what I'm looking for. Why do you think I did that to Enrique?
Because you don't like it.
Yes, because I don't like it. No. Because I'm always thinking, what is the backup plan? What if I did not get my grip properly? What is my next thing that I'm going to attack? It's his arm. So you have to start thinking in sequences, in combinations, attacking combinations. If you were a boxer, would you ever expect to to do jab, jab, boom? Oh, yes, he's KO'd. Doesn't happen. Yeah, sometimes in a street fight where the guy knows nothing and is swinging wildly and the other guy just goes bang and he's going down. But if you have two reasonably skilled, not even highly skilled guys, you have to, there's a lot of punches thrown. So it's the same thing in jiu-jitsu. You have to learn how to attack in combinations, but you got to do it with the right guys, with the right training partners. And we keep talking about how important training partners are. If you do it to somebody like you go to to a school, somebody you don't know, you do that to him, he's gonna think you're a dick. but if you do it to your, they know what you're doing. So, do we have any questions on this? Anthony, did I answer your questions? Down to 10 minutes. Okay, we better move. Come on, get down. Don't make me take you down. Don't make me pass your guard. We got things to do. We got jiu-jitsu to play. So, guys, a lot of times, I like to be high up when I attack from the mount. The reason for that, you can see where my feet are. They're close to his hips. And again, as soon as I mount, I will stabilize. Guys, you always, when you mount, even if you have something open, just make him feel that weight briefly. Because mentally they feel the possibility, okay, I'm in a bad position. But now they actually feel it, not just mentally, but also physically. And the body starts to deal with the bad position while you're hunting for submission. So as soon as I mount, guys, I'm already swimming to get something going on. I'm looking, for example, I would be looking to, there's a variety of things I'd have right now.
Ezekiel?
Yeah, I have an Ezekiel. Gi Ezekiel. Okay. I have the possibility of taking that arm. I have the possibility of getting off. Baseball bat choke. Guys, notice that even though we were doing gi, his collar is just not anywhere close to his neck. Why would I grab the gi? I tell you guys all the time that my gi game, my no gi game are not that dramatically different. I would just take the no gi version of it. It's better. It's right there. Whereas if I was hunting for the gi, by then he's already rolling me. But the other thing that I want to do is when I'm mounted, I'm looking to, so as I'm getting something, now Enrique rolls me. Tap. So if I'm high up, if I get rolled, if I get reversed, and I train with a lot of guys that are bigger than me, so yeah, if I get mounted and the guy's skilled, I like to train with skilled guys. The reason for that is because, they give me a good resistance, and they also know how to match intensities. Usually with, if I'm training for myself, if I'm training or if I'm teaching for my students, then my attention is on you guys. If I'm training for myself, the attention is on me. So I want to get training with somebody that's going to help me accomplish my objective for that day. Okay? So understand that. But when I'm high up, if I get turned, and, especially if you mounted and you go with a guy that's way bigger than you, you're lined up with them, there's a good chance that you're going to be turned. Very high probability. So if I'm high up, my feet are already close to his hips, so as soon as I turn, I'm already in a position to start attacking from the bottom.
Kegler Tunka is asking, what would be your first response to an Ezekiel attack from bottom?
Oh, prevent that. So,
No, if you were mounted.
yeah, I know. I'm being mounted.
He said his first response.
That's it. That's it. I'm exposing something else, guys, but I know that. I know he's going to slide up. I'm going to turn, and I know this arm is at risk. So as I'm coming up on top, I'm looking to retract. Enrique got the grip of death on his left side on my wrist because he knows that's his only chance.
You're putting weight on it. I cannot disengage. You are trapping yourself.
I know. I'm doing it temporarily because I have confidence. Oh, I'm out. So, long story short, you have to, see, guys. That's a very underrated skill, is understanding where the grips are going to go. You know, if you have a double guard pull, I know where the guys want to go, even though there's not a whole lot going on. If I'm on top, and or if usually it's the other guy, like so Enrique's trying to get grips, you know. Now the minute he gets a grip, I know where that's going to go. I know what he's going to be doing with it. Okay. So there's two things. There is grip stripping, which I'm not a big fan of. I know with guns like this, guys, I should be a big fan of stripping the grips, right? The reality is, first of all, you see the guys with like hands like this? That's because they hold on to the grips forever. Like I said, there's some guys at Renzo's that when I get a grip on their collar and they strip it, it feels like my hand stayed on the collar, separated from the rest of my arm. So when I feel somebody's going to strip my grip, I let it go and try to re-grip. Okay? If I'm on the receiving end, Mike, don't worry. Is Spider coming up on me?
Yeah.
Don't you worry about it.
I think he's saying jiu-jitsu doesn't work.
So, no, we're friends. Spiders bring good luck, guys. So, and they kill flies too, and mosquitoes. What the heck was I talking about? Oh, if he gets a strong grip, guys, chance of me stripping it is somewhat remote, especially if it's at a critical distance. What do I mean by that? So if Enrique gets a grip here, yeah, I can kind of ignore it because it's not a critical distance. But if he gets a grip like right here, this is a critical distance already. I don't have a lot of time. So my personal preference is not to use, how's that grip doing for you? So not to strip, not to ignore. That is not what I'm saying. You cannot ignore the grips. Because if you do, you will get punished for it. All right? But my personal preference, if you're 150 pounds, you go with a guy that's 230 and train judo for a while, you will not strip that grip. Yeah, I know there's, ways to make, make your forearm kind of strip the grip. You got to figure out how to use that grip against him. You may not figure it out that split second because next thing you know, he's coming after you. But over time, you have to figure out how to use the grips against them. All right? Yes, Mike, I know we have questions. Is it 2 minutes or 2 questions?
Both. Shaka Zula is asking, you said in one of your previous episodes that you don't like to grapevine the leg when attacking from mount.
Correct.
How do you prevent him from bridging when attacking the key lock from there?
Tap, tap, tap.
Go ahead.
Down.
Yes. So the answer is you don't. But let's look at a grapevine scenario. How do you prevent him from bridging by grapevine? You just do whatever you gotta do. Just don't pop my knees. Yeah, go. How do I prevent him from bridging? Saw the difference? You don't prevent him either way. It's easy to escape grapevine. It's very easy to escape grapevine. People just kind of almost mentally kind of assign it bigger sort of weight than it really is. You know? So if you grapevine him, your body's stretched. So you kind of like trying to finish him up forward. As he strips the grapevine and now he starts to rise, your body gets high. Now you may have to disengage or have your head smack the mat first. I'd rather be up high and I can still finish it a lot of times, or I segue into something even better.
Anand is asking, Coach, if he holds your hand when you are shooting for the collar grip, will you switch to triangle, like using the same hand to hold his hand and throwing your leg over?
Which hand?
I guess a free hand.
Free hand. So I have this. So do I have the first grip? Get a better grip. 2 on. Yeah, you want to get 2 on 1? Yeah. Guy, frequently, when they defend one thing, they're giving you something else. Just learn to identify the things they're giving you on a platter, literally on a platter. That's the whole idea behind Fluid BJJ. Somebody is giving you, when they defend one thing with all their might, think about it, you're in a medieval battle, okay? And, you know, you're attacking a castle. And all their defenses are at the gate. It behooves you to send a few guys around the back. Chances nobody's there, number one. Number two, the defenses are way weaker there. That's the whole idea behind Fluid BJJ. If you have a good attack, good initial grip, a lot of times yes, they can defend. And people sometimes stay with that particular, this is what I decided I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. Oh, crap, he took it away from me. Oh, crap, I'm on the bottom cross side. Then sometimes it becomes sort of 50-50. Those are not good odds. You want to make sure that if I attack, I think he might be able to take it away from me, but look what he's giving me over here. If I switch to this and it's a small movement, now he's completely disarmed. Now you're going to get the second submission or third.
And one last question before we close out. This is from John P. Professor, when you are armbarring Enrique from your closed guard and the armbar fails and he pulls his arm out, would you transition to an omoplata or the triangle?
Reverse triangle. Straight or reverse triangle. It's way more controlling. If somebody pulls out their arm from an arm lock to go into an omoplata, is because a lot of times a good guy, when they pull out of the arm lock, they position their bodies in a way that they control your hips. So they're going to be in a good position to defend the omoplata as well. So it's much more effective to attack a reverse triangle, because then he's trapped.
And he followed up with, when would you choose either omoplata over triangle?
Never. Never say never. The only reason I would ever go with an omoplata is that if his head is so far away that it's going to be very difficult for me to bring his head and arm into a triangle. Then I have no choice but to take omoplata. But if I had one or the other, triangle every single day. It's a stronger submission. It's also a way better control. Omoplata is some control, but triangle, reverse, or straight is way better control. And just like that, we're out of time. So tomorrow, episode 85. Hopefully no spiders, no flies. Or we can have them fight each other. Mike had to check behind him. Guys, episode 85, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Stay well. Be nice to others.